You know, in the world of offshore fishing with a center console, there are some companies that dabble in the endeavor and others that really excel at it. One company that is in the latter category is Edgewater Boats. This is the 340cc. Let's come aboard and do a full features inspection, see what offshore fishing is really like. This offshore performer has a length overall of 33 feet 4 inches, a beam of 10 feet 6 inches, and a draft of 26 inches. She has an empty weight of 12,800 pounds and comes fitted with twin Yamaha 450s that carry her to a top speed of 58.8 miles per hour. Her best cruise came in at 3,500 RPM and 30.9 miles per hour with a fuel burn of 22.3 gallons per hour. Start right here in probably the main office of any center console, the cockpit. Measures 9 feet 3 inches across by 5 feet 2 inches fore and aft. For safety, we've got a cockpit depth of 30 inches, and notice that we have tow rails. Give us another safety factor when we're fighting a fish. The bolsters start out at 21 inches and top out at 30. In the port quarter, got a transom live well, aerated with a see-through top, 10-inch pull-up cleat, rod holder, beverage holder down below, JL audio speaker, and a fresh and raw water washdown. In the center of the deck, lift up a hatch and we get to the mechanical compartment that has very clever storage. This is something I haven't seen before. Vertical fender storage and a 5-gallon bucket over on the side. Just ahead we've got the Seakeeper 2 gyro stabilizer system. This is a 12-volt gyro stabilizer, so we don't need to have a separate generator. Got access to fuel filters to both sides, batteries to both sides, and easy access to the bilge compartment itself. Forward, we've got a leaning post, and this is available in several configurations. In this one, we have Corian counter, a single basin sink with a pull-out sprayer, so we can use this as a cockpit washdown. Just alongside, there's an insulated basin, so fill that up with ice and it's self-draining. Below, grab rail, 2 storage drawers, and then below that is a cooler on a pull-out slider. Now this is just one configuration. There are several available, as I said. We can get this in an aft-facing seat. We can get an aquarium live well, put a grill in here. A whole bunch of options are available. Continuing with our cockpit features, we've got in-deck fish boxes to both sides. Just forward again to both sides. Lockable rod storage for rods up to 82 inches. There's a hull side dive door that opens up a full 25 inches, and it opens into a recess into the side deck, so we still have 26 inches of side deck clearance. There's a dive ladder that has dedicated storage just ahead in the bulwarks. To the side of the console, all the electrical controls for the live wells, fish boxes, and the washdowns. As far as consoles go, this one is really nicely laid out, and I have to say professionally laid out. Compass in line with the steering wheel, which is on a tilt base. Happy to see that. Got the engine controls over to the side. Seakeeper controls just alongside that, and then our Helm Master joystick over to the side of that. 2 beverage holders. Coming up a bit, we've got all of our electrical switches. I'm glad to see that they are below the screen, so the screens are up higher so we don't have to look so far down to see what's on the screens. Interesting feature with these switches. When you push one of the switches and activate it, it turns red, but at night, all the switches are going to be lit up when you turn the lights on, and that gets a little blinding, so they very cleverly came up with this switch to turn all the switches off and only go on red when they're activated. Very nice feature to have at night and very clever on the part of Edgewater. Dual 8616 Garmin displays, a Fusion stereo right in between. There's a recess in the console area just up above here. I'd like to see a little rubber matting at the bottom of that to keep your phone from sliding around. Notice as we move down a little bit, we've got a footrest and then a recessed area for your foot. And then below that, there's a panel that flips up to give you a little bit of elevation 5 inches off of the deck, which makes it a little easier to see out the window, which is good sized. There's also side windows. All of the supports for the T-top are powder coated and integrated with a ladder. There's a ladder going to the port side that leads to a hatch, which brings you up to the optional operating station up above. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. Also in the overhead, we have speakers for the Fusion stereo and outrigger controls. Seats, we've got 2 of them, but I mean, we can really sit 3 across on here if somebody wants to sit in the middle. They both have flip bolsters, flip down armrests, and they slide fore and aft. Powering the 340, twin 450 horsepower V8 5.6 liter XTO Yamaha offshore outboards. And continuing up our side deck, we've got port side access to the head compartment. This has standing headroom of 5 feet 8 inches, sitting headroom of 4 feet 4 inches. There's dedicated storage for the cockpit table. Mirror to the forward bulkhead. Opening port light for ventilation, and then the electrical switches are on the aft bulkhead, including all of your battery switches. Just ahead of the console, beautiful lounge seat. Measures 49 inches by 46 inches wide. There's a flip-down armrest in the center with 2 integrated beverage holders. I would like to see some connectivity in this area so we can keep our cell phones charged if we're not connecting to the stereo system. That'll probably be done by Bluetooth anyway, but a charge port would be nice. Underneath, take a look at this for storage. How about that? We've got dedicated storage for some dive bottles, rod storage, fire extinguisher storage, line hangers, and there's also storage for the pedestal for the forward table. The table also can be lowered to form a sun pad with our U-shaped seating all the way up at the bow. Notice that we've got wraparound bolsters and recessed grab handles. These are also going to be powder coated black, much like the rest of the rails that we've seen around the boat. To the stern, we've got seat back that converts from a bolster to a seat back just by flipping it, and it rests inside a rod holder. Now take a look fully forward. Ground tackle is in a recessed compartment all the way up at the bow. Anchor goes through the stem. There's a cleat for tying off the line, and we have a windlass for hauling the line, easy access to the road locker just alongside, and then there's a raw water washdown. Taking a look at some additional hardtop features, we've got LED running lights, spreader lights, and above, docking lights. Now let's take a look at this upper control station. Obviously in this position we've got a commanding view of both the bow and the stern. Helm is located over on the port hand side. There's a remote VHF radio, helm master joystick, autopilot controls, engine start stops, the engine controls, an 8612 GPS, and beverage holders are just behind. And of course we're enjoying the comfort of the seat, which is 42 inches wide and surrounded by powder coated rails. And all of this tower is collapsible for easy storage. As I said, there's a vast difference between a regular boat and a premium level boat, and Edgewater is the latter. And that's my full features inspection of the 340cc from Edgewater. I'm Captain Steve, and I will see you on the water.